Sobriety is not a competition. I know a lot of people, look at the amount of time they're sober, and they think if they have more time sober than another person, that means something. And all that really means to me is that maybe you figured it out sooner in your life than another person did, but that shouldn't matter. And when sobriety becomes a competition, that's when everybody loses. Because the only person, and I mean this, that should really be concerned about the length of sobriety is the person who needs to stay sober. All right? Everybody else, they don't matter. And it's tough because years ago when I went to AA, it was almost like a badge that people wore. If they ask you, how long you been sober? And I would say, 2 years. And they go, wait till you get 7 and then come and talk to me. And I was always like, what the hell does that mean? I mean, I was probably as sober as he was. But over the time that I did spend in AA, and I'm not knocking AA, it is what it is. But, people really believe that there's something special because they were able to, stay sober for quite long periods of time. And even though it's a good thing, I know a lot of people who have been sober for a lot of years and they don't walk around bragging about it. They just figured out that, hey, man, this drinking or drugging ain't working for me. I got to stop. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, and I used to work with him while I was drinking, went to church one day. His wife was a Christian, or still is a Christian, but at that time was a Christian. And, always talked to her husband about the Bible and Christ. And one day he went to church with her and turned his whole will and life over to the care of God. Confessed that, he'd follow Jesus Christ. Been sober a long time. Lives a great life. So, everybody's different. I think the main goal for anyone is if you have a problem, drugs or alcohol, get sober and stay sober. How you do it is your own business. And the problem is we make it other people's business, especially nowadays with everything online. People want to come on and, talk about everything in their life, including, getting sober. It amazes me the amount of people, younger kids, or maybe, well, say young, I'm 65, but we'll say in their 30s, they're not really kids then, I guess, who are just talking about getting sober or, getting clean, and they're putting their whole life story out there. Well, someday, maybe, or maybe even now, that if they're looking for a job and, they apply, and a lot of times employers or services that hire for other people check social media. Now, if they see somebody posting, I'm a 6 months sober, 9 months sober, and they're looking for a job, they may pass you by. Now, is it fair? It's not for me to say, but it could happen. Or, if you put your whole life out there, about the way you use drugs in the same scenario, comes up, somebody's looking to hire you for maybe working in a restaurant or whatever. And then they got to start to worry about money. Now, I'm not saying that people who abuse drugs are thieves, but a lot of them, because I know a lot of them, or I have, that would do whatever they had to do to get their fix. And the same with the person who was drinking. So you got to be careful when you put that stuff out there. But everybody wants to talk about how special they feel because they don't put a drink or drug in it. And for me, I always looked at it this way. I rarely, if ever, see anybody who's gone through some really major challenges like the wounded warrior people. That's always something that when I was getting ready to have my heart surgery back in 2012, I started feeling sorry for myself. Oh, I got to have heart surgery. I'm 51 years old. Yeah. And then every time I would feel sorry for myself, a wounded warrior commercial would come on. And then I'd say, really? I'm going to be going to the best. I went to the Cleveland Clinic. I'm going to the best hospital for this surgery with the best doctors. And I'm complaining. And I see somebody on TV and they're getting through their life the best they can. Or you see videos of them playing, sports or just, doing everyday things, but with a challenge in front of them. Nobody's complaining. And I've got to complain because I don't drink alcohol. Something, never registered with me. Or people who, I love seeing if people who have cancer say, hey, they got another year cancer free. That's awesome. But I rarely, if ever, see anybody talking about what they go through with their cancer and looking for a pat on the back. Some people want to share their stories to help other, people, and I understand it. And I truly believe they're extremely sincere about it. They're not looking for, hey, I'm with you. They're just saying, hey, I know other people are struggling with, cancer. And that's wonderful. But I never looked at putting down a drink or a drug, even though I didn't do drugs, but putting down a drink was something that I should be commended upon or commended for, because I was an asshole when I drank, excuse the language. So I want you to pat me on the back for not being an a-hole anymore. Come on. Let's start getting real. Now, if you need help with your sobriety, or if you're struggling, go get it. There's plenty out there. Online is not the place for it. I have people reach out to me once in a while via the email, and there was a few times that I would give them a call and we would talk. And there's a couple of people I still talk with, trying to help them through some challenges, but I keep telling them the same thing. Whatever comes in front of you, whatever it is, you just can't put a drink or a drug in you. I wrote a book, Don't Drink or Use No Matter What, and no matter what means no matter what. That's it. I know that works. Can it be difficult at times not to grab that drink or the drug when we know that's what will make us feel good at the moment? Hell, yeah, I know sometimes it's difficult, but it passes. It will pass. So, don't get hung up on the length of sobriety. Don't get hung up on labeling yourself anything, alcoholic, addict. That serves no purpose. The only thing that you should focus on, especially early on in sobriety, is keeping it simple. Just become a person for one day that doesn't drink or use, and that's it. And if that works, which it will work, because you can do it for 24 hours, the next day, just wake up and say, just for today, I'm not going to pick up a drink or a drug. I'll do something else. I know I can do something else. And then just keep moving, all right? And in time, I promise you, it gets easier. If it doesn't, then go get some help, all right? Don't be embarrassed or ashamed just to say, hey, there's something. I know I want to stay sober. I really do, but there's something that keeps making me gravitate towards picking up that drink or drug. I just got to figure this out. Will you help me? And there's people out there that will. including me. If if you haven't read my book, that's cool. If you want a copy of it, I'll send you a PDF of it. Just email me here, and I'll be more than happy to do that. If you want to talk to me, I can't talk to everybody, but I try to. So until the next time, listen, it's pretty simple. Don't drink or use no matter what, and no matter what means no matter what. Don't frickin' label yourself anything, because you're a lot more than an alcoholic or an addict. I'm telling you, okay? Don't do that to yourself. We'll talk to you the next time.